Thank you, Tracy. Yeah, it's been a hard day for both of us. This guy is extra clean, extra clingy right now. He's following me around a lot, so he's feeling it too. He was wandering around the house at like 2 a.m. this morning, meowing. I think he was looking for her. Thank you, Janine. I appreciate that. She was a good little kitty, but we all have to go sometime. You're right, Janine, but you got to go through it. It's part of the process. Get a little closer here so I can see what's going on here. Get the laptop too far away from me and kind of moves out of my ability to see it with my glasses. Yeah, I guess I kind of miss every pet I ever had. You know, I've had lots of them. I don't think there's ever been a point in my life since I was about 7 where I didn't have some sort of a pet in my life. Thank you, Gene. I appreciate that. It's funny because I've been seeing this coming for a couple of weeks now. She's just been declining, kind of slowly and gradually, and even having like a month to prepare for it almost. It's still kind of hard to believe now that it's over. Well, I only had one cat before these guys, and never had more than one. So I'm actually back to my normal state now. But I don't know. Bite and nibble. They came as a pair. So yeah, I couldn't take one and leave the other one in the backyard. That just wasn't going to work. And so there for a while, I was a cat guy because I had three cats at the same time for about a year. Thank you, Sharon. Appreciate that. Bite's extra needy right now. He's following me around. He was kind of wandering around the house about 2 or 3 a.m. this morning, meowing. I think he was looking for her. Well, I actually had to pull out these guys' vet records because I didn't remember if they were going on 18 or going on 19. I thought there for a while they were going on 19, and actually they're only going on 18. Since we don't know exactly when they were born, the doctor just kind of took the current date, which was the end of April, and went back about 5 weeks, which is what he thought their birthday was, and that turned out to be March 20. So Yeah, March 20. This guy's 18 years old. It's time to get out and get a job, buddy. Yeah, it was sort of the same with Nibble. Last couple days, it was obvious that the end was near because, she could barely walk. Um, and, her balance was off. She was weak. And the night before the night before she died, I had left her in the morning in her room. And by the time I got home, she was out in the kitchen laying on the floor. And I walked in and says, "Oh, that's it. It's over." But I pet her and she was still with us. So I brought her back into her room. And next morning I got up and she was, I thought again, "Oh, that's it. It's over." And pet her and she started moving again. And then by the time I went to work an hour later, she was gone. So yeah, that's what happens. Just you and me now, Bite. Two musketeers. Right? I got the brush, don't I? Okay, he just wants to rub up against the brush. He's kind of weird that way. Well, I am glad that she went with Bite with her. Bite spent his whole life with her. They were together their whole life, and I wouldn't wanted to have taken her to the vet and had her put down, just because, like I said, she hated the vet. She didn't want anything to do with the vet, and I think she's much happier that she could go with her brother at her side. But I don't know. I don't want to talk about that all day. Let's change the subject. We got to brighten the mood up here. Nobody's here. Everybody's saying, "Oh, this is going to be a boring or a depressing one." Thank you, Darth. I appreciate that. Thank you too, Michelle. Work's good. There's a reason they call it work. I'm continuing to learn things. It's been kind of a rough week. The boss has back problems occasionally, and he actually ended up having to go home from work a week ago and didn't actually come back until yesterday. And you tell he was still in pain. And but that whole week while he was gone, it was like just one thing after another. It was quite a week. Thank you, top vloggers. I appreciate that. Yeah, it is. She was a good little kitty. She wasn't very friendly or affectionate, but she was a sweet little kitty. Had the cutest little meow. Meow. No, no rocks lately. Like I said before, the rock shop's closed for a while. I did have to go get a new UV flashlight. My old one burned out. And I tried to contact the people that I'd gotten the first one from. And, it starts off, send them an email, "Hey, I want this." And then they're supposed to get back to you. They never got back to me. But I found something online that seems to do the job. In fact, I might go back to them because I really like this one. It's got way more power than the previous one. And I've been thinking about getting a shortwave light because certain minerals look great under long wave light, and then you get it under shortwave, and it's even more amazing. And so I want to see some of that. Thank you, John. Yeah, I did get the credit card issue resolved. It's exactly what I thought it was. They didn't they saw something they thought was suspicious, something a company that I go to once every month and a half, but somehow this time they saw it as suspicious and stopped my account. I got on the phone with them after the live stream last week, and they fixed it. But I think I'm pretty much done with these guys. I've been looking for an excuse to get to jump ship from them for a while because they screw up too much. And additionally, I kind of also want to get to the point where, if I need to, I can go into a branch. This credit union was associated with Disney, so the nearest one is either in Orlando, Florida, or Anaheim, California. And you know what? I not gonna make a California or a Florida trip because I have to go visit a branch. I'd like to find something in the area, so I'm gonna probably jump ship from them. Yeah, the ice cream is okay. Like I said, I think it tastes a little bit too much like toothpaste, but I think that's just because I put too much mint in there. We're going to experiment with it again. I think next time I'll just work on the mint part of it, the mint ice cream part, and then once I get the taste of that right, then we'll do another one and do it right. Oh yeah, the problem isn't with me losing a friend here. I got friends at work, and that's good. That's all I really need. I'm a real introvert. That's why I live alone. I can deal with people in small doses or virtually through the internet. I'm still digging out all that stuff. Like I said in the last video, I got to, move half of the dirt to the other side of the hole. I did find another anti-siphon valve a couple feet from the first one, so I'm not sure yet. I'm going to dig the whole thing out, and then we're going to see what happened. I also, like I said, the first time I turned on the sprinkler in that last vlog, I ended up finding a broken piece of plumbing. I haven't fixed that yet either. And I thought for sure that I'd damaged another piece of pipe, but maybe I did, and maybe it's just nothing. But I was digging in the area and I heard something go crunch. And I said, "Oh, I hit another pipe." But the sprinkler ran, and there wasn't water gushing out of anywhere except for that little nick. So I don't know. Maybe I got lucky on that one too. Yeah, well, that's true. Bida has been a lot more clingy lately. He follows me around a lot more. So yeah, we're both going to have to adapt. Thank you, EC. I appreciate that. Yeah, I love Jaw. Jaw is a great little doggy. I'm so happy I got to be a part of his life for so long. We had a lot of fun when Jordan would go on his European trips and he'd leave Jaw with me. Uh, we had a lot of fun. Thank you, Gene. Yeah, well, I mean, you've been on the live stream for the last couple of weeks. We've talked about it a little. I knew she was going downhill, and I knew it wasn't long. Oh yes, Jaw is the easiest dog in the world to take care of because basically, you think of little Chihuahua, Jack Russell Terriers. You think of a little bundle of energies going all the time. No, and you get him out in the yard and someplace where he can run. He'll open it up, and he loved to run. But when he's in the house, he was very well behaved. He usually just found someplace next to whoever's there. If it was just me, he'd hang out with me. If Jordan was there, he'd go hang out with Jordan and just lay down on the couch next to us while we watch movies or whatever. He's a very easygoing dog. And you'd think that having a month to prepare for it, like I did, You know, it would have made it a little easier, but still kind of, it's harder than I thought it would be. Well, Jaw's not a puppy anymore either. So, you know, Jaw's getting, you know, I don't know, Jaw's probably what, 8, 9, something like that by now. He's been there the entire time Jordan's been vlogging, and Jordan's been vlogging for longer than I have, and I'm coming up on my 5-year anniversary. No, I've never heard Jaw bark. He'll whimper, he'll yelp if someone does something he doesn't like, but no, I've never heard him bark either. I don't know if that was just something that was unique to Jaw or if Jordan just trained him not to do that from early on. Well, you got to remember with reptiles, hibernation isn't the same for them as it is for mammals. When you think of mammals, you think of like bears or something hibernating. You know, they go find a cave or something and they go to sleep for 3 months and they don't wake up for any reason. The only reason Flash goes into hibernation mode is if it gets too cold. Truth is, for the past week or so, it's been in the 80s and she's been out and about. But we're dipping back into the, you know, peak is supposed to only be in the 50s and like the 30s again tonight. So, you know, we're cold again. So she's back asleep. Yeah, because Jordan had Jaw before he was vlogging. I think Jaw was kind of a response to a little dog that his girlfriend had uh, right before Jaw came along. Because when they kind of separated, um, he really liked having the little dog. I think, and it wasn't long after that that Jaw came along. Oh, for longer than that, John. There have been times where I didn't know where she was for a week. She knows that backyard better than I do. I'll tell you that. Yeah, I knew what you meant, EC. Thank you, Ruth. Yeah, I mean it's tough. You know, I've known it's coming for about a month, but you know, it's hard to predict how you're gonna react when it actually does happen. Thank you, Lindex. I appreciate that. Yeah, yeah, it's just a little thing that I do to help promote him because, you know, this whole vlog is because Jordan promoted me. Jordan doesn't know what kind of a ripple action he's had by starting his vlogs because mine started because of him. I'm sure Scott Michael started because of him. Um, Jeff Kidd started because of him. Matt, my friend in the background there, he started because of me. And so, you know, it's just we're all doing this. No, Nibble passed in her bedroom with her brother by her side. Happened sometime yesterday morning. Jordan's a great vlogger. Scott's a great vlogger. Jeff and I are decent vloggers. We're not in their category. And it's a good thing I'm not depending on money for doing this because I'd be destitute in the streets. You just got to do it because you want something. You just enjoy doing it. And frankly, I'm kind of lazy by nature, I think, and so um, having a vlog to do, it encourages me to do things, get out and see things. I know way more about Waco right now than I did about Placentia or Garden Grove, which is where I grew up and where I lived before I moved here. I don't know. Does vodka have a vintage? My understanding is the contents in this glass are somewhere between 2 and 4 billion years old. Yeah, it's not actually H2O or water. It's dihydrogen monoxide. Actually, I think I do drink Russian vodka. Yeah, I'm going to do it at some point. I got to be in the mood for it. And if I'm not in the mood for it, I'm not going to put any effort into it. So it'll happen at some point because I still think it's ugly. Well, I think that's part of it too, Tracy. Maybe I wasn't as interested in the history in Placentia because Placentia's history only went back, what, 70 or 80 years. And that was one of the older cities in that part of California. I don't think Garden Grove, where I grew up, was anything because when my mom and dad moved in the early '60s, it was mostly just strawberry fields. That is true. I do like beer. Yeah, yeah. Placentia did have a downtown area. It was sort of like what you think of as a small town downtown. But I don't know. There wasn't really a whole lot down there. Placentia didn't seem to offer a lot in terms of like jobs. It was more of a place to live. I mean, yeah, we had like grocery stores and stuff like that, but there wasn't like any businesses or anything like that. I mean, don't get me wrong, it was a nice place to live. I loved it that it was about a mile from a real nice bike trail that was probably 15 miles long. And what I could do is I could pick it up kind of in the middle, ride it to one end, ride it to the other end, ride it back to the middle, and drive home real easy. And it was a nice ride. I lived almost within walking distance of the Nixon Library. So I'd gone there a couple times, including with Jordan. Jordan's always had kind of a fascination with presidential libraries. I've been to three of them with him. Oh yes, there's all sorts of trails. We have two big parks in the area. One, one of them right on the lake. Actually, no, they're both on the. Actually, no, one's on the lake, one's on the river. We got Cameron Park, which is downtown, and there's all sorts of hiking trails there. I've been there a bunch of times, and there's also on the lake a place called Lakeside Park or Lakeshore Park. They used to call it, I think, Woodway Park. And there's nice trails in there too. Yeah, go back on some of my hiking vlogs. I've been on a lot of those trails. I love them. But I'll tell you what, I just love getting out and walking around my neighborhood at night. I'll get out 11 o'clock or something like that. And I've got this nice little trail I take that goes, not a trail, but, a route that I take that is about a mile, and it's a nice hike. And it's just nice to get out and be quiet, enjoy the outside. Yeah, she must be. 'Cause, who knows? Sometimes she'll pop in during a break or something. She responded to the issue about Nibble on the Facebook page yesterday, so I know she's still there. I don't know about soon, Darth, but I do want to go visit. And the truth is, we're coming up on another maintenance interval in about a month at work, so I'm going to have like a couple weeks off. Maybe a couple days I have to go in here or there, but there that may be some more road trip type vlogs, and maybe the Alamo might be one of them. I was thinking going north. Jordan also gave me some advice. Apparently, there's a new Meow Wolf that's opened up in Houston, and he said I should go down there because it just opened up apparently. And he says the best time if you want to get hits on something like that is to be like the first person to post a video on it. So that might happen. It might be two trips because Houston's like 4 or 5 hours from here, so it's a significant drive. And San Antonio is about an equal drive. So yeah, I mean those would be good road trips. Well, I will ask him to look in the basement. I guess I could think of worse things to think of than Ozzy Osbourne. Oh, Scott Michaels did do Pee Wee. That's interesting. Yeah, I don't really watch any other vlogs, so it is sometimes fun just to get out and drive, though. I've been thinking for a while because all the time when I'm driving, I see like historical markers on the sides of highways, and I've been thinking one of these days I want to get out and just drive. And every time I see a historical marker, we're going to go pull over and read it and see what it says, see what happened there. Yellowstone is going to be like that trip I took to California a couple years back to visit my mom. It's something I'm going to procrastinate with for a long time, and then eventually I'm going to sit down. I'm going to say, "Okay, time's up. I'm going to do it." So we're in that procrastination phase right now. I do want to go. I am going to go. Just not sure when yet. Well, define bad weather. I kind of like it when it gets stormy. And yeah, we got the potential for rain. The temperature plummeted a lot because, like, it was in the 80s yesterday. We're only supposed to get into the upper 50s today. I don't know what we'll find when he opens up the JFK files. I hope there's something there. Enough time has passed. We deserve to know what happened. I think it's do or do not. There is no try. But that's probably good advice. I also appreciate the irony of Darth Saber quoting Yoda. Of course, they were, Darth Vader was sort of mentored by Yoda. Yeah, there's going to be a lot more videos on that. That's going to take months to finish. But the beauty is right now, it is a huge job, but I'm doing it a little bit at a time. And so, I make a lot of progress and I've got about half the dirt moved to the other side of the yard now. And so then we can start putting the bricks down and it all goes from there. Once I get the first level, the bricks level all the way around, then it's just a matter of building everything up. Yeah, MLK files too. Yeah, I'm sure a lot of the real information was destroyed because somebody did it. Obviously, was it Oswald? Was it the CIA? Was it the mafia? Well, if you're talking about the one that I use from time to time, it's called Roadside America, and that's how I find a lot of the like sideshows or not sideshows, but roadside attractions. I think it's an anti-siphon valve from a previous version of the sprinkler system. I don't think it's active because I don't see anything that's not working. And there's no way that that could not be, could have the wire severed the way it is and still be working. So it's an anti-siphon valve. I just don't think it's an active one. Once I get everything out of there and find out where everything is, I'm going to run the sprinklers again, make sure everything's tight. And if I can verify that those aren't doing anything, I might even remove them. Well, we at least know who killed Robert Kennedy. Yeah, absolutely. Trump literally dodged a bullet that day, didn't he? Yeah, I don't know. There's all sorts of questions that are unanswered about the whole JFK thing. You go watch those. Go read the comments on those JFK videos I did a few years ago. There's all sorts of people out there and all sorts of hate directed at the video because I'm just parroting the government's story. I never said anywhere in that video that that this is the undeniable truth. This is what happened. I said it. In fact, I said at the end of the last video, there's all sorts of opposing theories about what happened. Feel free to post them in the comment. But you know what? Few people see the first 10 minutes of video and it's like, oh, he's just parroting the government. They don't watch the whole thing, and then they comment on it on something they don't know about. Yeah, Roadside America is pretty cool. A lot of the things I found, Darwin the gorilla, I found. You remember when we went to Tincinerator, the when I visited the Baylor Bears on Baylor campus, when I did all sorts of stuff in the area. All started with that, and Jordan used to use that too, and so he introduced me to it. Not just a museum, probably the Smithsonian. Well, I mean, they do sort of have a point. If you watch the video, yes, my vlog tells the story pretty much the same one that the Warren Commission did. I acknowledge that. I did, but like I said, I never once said that's what happened. It's like this is what the story is. I don't know. Maybe I could have accounted for that when I first did the video. Maybe the first scene I could have said is, you know, there's all sorts of theories of what happened. This is what the government says. Tell me what you think. Maybe if I did it that way, maybe there would have been less hate. But see, I think the problem is I did that at the end, and I think a lot of people gave up before the end. I mean, one of the statistics I get with videos is the engagement rate, which is how long you stick with a video. And apparently, a lot of people don't watch my video for very long. They'll watch for a few minutes and stop. It definitely was one of the highlights. One of the scenes in the JFK video is definitely one of the highlights of my vlogging time here, and that was the ability to actually get into Lee Harvey Oswald's jail cell. That was amazing. I can't believe that that was just serendipity. And it was funded to go check that place out. And to be able to get downstairs into the area where he was shot. See, I thought just because of the scene in the jail cell that would probably be my most popular video ever. It's only my second. The people really seem to like the one where I retraced his steps from the Texas Book Depository to the movie theater where he was arrested, and then went to the courthouse where he was assassinated and went to his grave. I had somebody post a comment on one of my on that video, I think, where they said, "Oh yeah, I got to do it a year ago, and but you have more viewers, so you get the credit for it." It's like, well, okay, whatever. I'm sure there's got to be stuff there, but yeah, unfortunately, they didn't think of that when they designed Dealey Plaza. Definitely. Yeah, the internet sure does inspire hate. I saw a quote or heard a quote from Mike Tyson, of all people, recently, who said something to the effect of the internet gives people the ability to say things to one another that would normally get them punched in the face. That's a good quote. Well, I think after JFK too, they stopped letting them ride around in limousines that weren't bulletproof. Still seeing Kamala Harris ads, huh? I'm glad they don't make me watch ads when I do my live streams. Is that where the Linda limo is, Lynn? Okay, have good lunch, Tracy. Thanks for stopping in. No, I ain't sorry. I'm glad she didn't get elected. I'm glad America saw through all that. Yes, EC, that is undeniably correct. To be able to reach out anonymously and make other people think that you're cooler than you really are. I'd rather not. I'm glad she's going away in anonymity. She can disappear and never be seen again. Wish we could get Hillary to go with her too, and Pelosi and Schumer. Yeah, that's the story. Although, some people have brought up good points about about that in the comments of my videos. They point out how in 1963 would a police officer, miles away from the incident where the assassination occurred, know what Oswald looks like. There weren't computers at that time, so how would he know to stop him? Yeah, well, it seemed like those two assassinations really changed things up. He started getting serious after that. MLK too, same thing. Now, it's my understanding he sat in the theater and they walked in and arrested him. Move the water over here because I see bikes peering around the corner here. Gonna come and visit again. I don't know where he went. He's probably going to orbit the couch a couple times, and then he'll jump up and join me pretty quick. Yeah, here he comes in front of the computer again. Who knows if that's actually what happened, though? Sometimes they enhance those a little bit. Yeah, I was in that basement where Oswald was shot by Ruby. It didn't look like I remember in any of the pictures. It was really hard to line things up, but they were in the process of rebuilding it. So I bet you it looks more like um, the pictures now than it probably did then. Fight's being a little bit more needy lately. I think he's coming to terms with it, but he's been watching it happen too. He's been watching her decline. Yeah, they should have done better with Reagan in '81 too. You're right. Yeah, I don't think I can even get that image out of my head today of Reagan being shot that day. Well, I wouldn't surprise me if somebody was dragging their heels on that. There may be somebody who's still alive who maybe could be implicated or something like that. I don't know. It's been 60 years though. Come on. Yeah, I know that's crazy too. John Hinckley is on parole right now, or is free, walking around free. I think McKinley was shot too. I don't know. I don't have enough information to judge what happened. People keep saying that it sounded like bullets were coming from multiple directions. But if you look at that area, there's a lot of hard, solid buildings that reflect sound. So, and when you got a bunch of stuff, it's going to bounce around. It sound is going to bounce around in there. So it's hard to say if that's accurate. Always shedding, aren't you, Bite? There's never a time you're not shedding. Wow, that guy's still alive? That's amazing. Must have just been a kid at the time. 33, I guess. That would be a heck of an interview. Yeah, back in the days when, the Secret Service, they could be counted on to jump in front of a bullet to protect the president. We've been told to give you a cuddle here, so it's cuddle time. Mike still isn't much of a fan of being held. Look at the expression on his face. He's like, "You let me go, I'm going to kill you." Yeah, yeah. Skinny is the word I wouldn't use to describe this guy. Kitty treat. Oops, dropped one. That was my fault. I don't know if he was going specifically after Jackie or just trying to protect the president, not knowing that it was already too late. Sometimes a lot of that stuff is just instinct for them. They know that they do. You under certain circumstances you do it. It's like it's like muscle memory, right? Like when I hold the brush out, how you know to rub up against it. I guess I do remember that scene in the video where the second JFK is done, Jackie's trying to run off the back of the car, on her hands and knees, kneeling her way, you know, towards the back. And I guess that probably somebody did have to push her back in. Yeah. See, that's the problem with brushing the cat is all the hair doesn't stay on the brush. Some of it gets in the air, and some of that gets in the air, gets in my nose. Doesn't it bite? Mac right there. Let's get that out. Oh, Bite loves the brush. Yes, he does. Who thought that today we'd be talking about JFK's brain? Never know where these live streams are going to go. I love that I can do a live stream that can so completely go off the rails like this one just did. It reminds me of a story. that I heard on a documentary about Guided by Voices called "Watch Me Jumpstart." There's something in there called the grandmother story, and one of the players in the early version of Guided by Voices, his name is Mitch Mitchell, uh, told the story. One time he had a 45 of "I Can't Get No Satisfaction" by the Rolling Stones. He just kept playing it over and over and over and over and over again. And his grandmother uh, walked in, and she was so offended by what she heard on the record that she picked the record off the record player and smashed it. And Mick tells how he responded to that. He says he wasn't really angry or upset, but more just in awe. Said, "Someday I want to be able to do something that can create that kind of a reaction." So yeah, we just did it, and I got cat hair in my mouth. You got a new rescue, huh? Yeah, I don't know. What we're going to do. I'm not going to do anything in terms of getting another cat at this point. I don't know. We'll see what happens. The truth is, until Bite and Nibble came along, I was a one cat person. So I'm back to my default state right now. No, it's a pro military shirt. Yeah, I don't have any experience dealing with outdoor cats. Every cat I've ever had's been indoor. Really, a 7.6? Let's go see if we can see that. Hang on, let me do some digging here. Gotta zoom out. I got this thing configured for showing me California here. Yeah, I think I see it. Yeah, that's a big one. Holy cow. Yeah, let's cut away here. Let's see, where's the control panel? There it is. Okay. So this is basically North America, South America, Central America, and right here, this big orange dot right here. That's it. Look at that. That's a big earthquake. 7.6. It happened looks like yesterday. But you see here's the fault. You see this red line going along here and here and here. This is subduction. That's what's happening is one plate is going under another. Oops. One plate is going under another. So that's why you see the real dark blue here, because that means it's really deep. So this plate here is going under this plate. And that it's that plate that's pushing up the little Cayman Islands that you see here. They're just little pieces of the plate that's getting pushed out of the water. And generally, you get little volcanic activity out there too. And so those could be like volcanic islands. They aren't very big. Yeah, see, that's like about 10 miles across, tip to tip. So yeah, that's a big earthquake. Holy cow. That will ruin your day. Yeah. And I was wondering if there were tsunami warnings for that. Let's see if there is here. I mean, probably not anymore. Okay, well, there is none now. I don't know if that means there was one at one point, but wow, that's a good earthquake. Yeah, it seems like it happened about 18 hours ago because it was like 5 in the afternoon Texas time, and it's about noon right now. So a little bit more than 18 hours ago, 19 hours ago, something like that. That's okay. There was a see that the alarm. The thing I looked at just a second ago is probably what the active alert is, and a tsunami in the Gulf of Mexico, like the Gulf of California, or the Gulf of America. I mean, and actually, it isn't, is it? It's between Honduras and Cuba. So Cuba would have taken it if there was everything kind of in there would, and there might have been a little that moved into the Gulf of America, but yeah, no, that's a lot of people lost their houses in the fires. I don't know specifically about him. Yeah, if it isn't making the 24/7 news cycle, you're right. They're not going to cover it much. Well, they're going to have to do something to make sure that place is a little bit more fireproof if they rebuild in that area. You know, there's no reason that can't be done safely, but you gotta control your forests, and the environmentalists wouldn't let California do that. Yeah, there was a Woolworth department store. In fact, I visited it, I think, a couple weeks ago because that was part of that vlog I did on Gildersleeve. I think I showed the Woolworth building. They still call it the Woolworth building, although it's been divided into three stores and there's like three things in there now. It's not just the mayor, though; it's the governor too. Newsom, is all over this. Yeah, right. Hell's bells. Hi, VNA. Thanks for stopping in. Yeah, thanks to the sympathies on Nibble. Yeah, it was a sad day yesterday. Do you guys want to see some pictures of Nibble? I kind of pulled some old photos I had together and put them on the hard drive. I could show them if you want. want to see them? We can do that. I like doing little cutaways. Get everything prepared here. I think I got the window open already. Yeah. These are, let's see, okay. Now we can do the cutaway here. Got to get the window open. I want to show you. Okay, we're going to show you. Actually, no, not that one. Let's try this again. I almost screwed up here. I almost pushed the wrong button. That's the picture I want. Yeah. Yeah, that's Nibble as a baby. She's about 5 weeks old. Managed to end up taking a nap with her tail in her water dish. That's why her tail's all weird like that. But that's how little she was when I first got her. And there's Bite as a baby, 5 weeks old. They discovered early on that the bathtub was their favorite place to go. Even today, when the weather gets scary, they'll still retreat into the bathtub. So that's a habit that goes back to when they were babies. When I first had them, because remember I had another cat at the time that they came into my life, and I wasn't sure I wanted to pit two 5-week-old baby cats, kittens, against an adult cat that's been alone all his life. So for the first few weeks of their lives, they lived in the guest bathroom and eventually extended into the guest bedroom. And it was only a few weeks after, when they grew up a little, got a little bit more used to the surroundings, did I allow them to mix. That was the day after I found them. Uh, and I sent this picture to my mom as a text and say, hey, look, Ma, no gloves. Because Bite got his name because the day before, when I found him and reached in and tried to grab him, he bit me, and so that's how he got his name. I was wearing gloves at the time, so he didn't break the skin or anything, but he was just scared. And like I said, that was the next day. They'd spent the day or so in the bathroom there and kind of gotten a little bit more acclimated, got some food in their tummy. They'd been to the vet and were okay, so they're starting to relax a little bit and start doing their thing. Mealtime. Look at how little they are. That's her in a little cardboard box. She always loved going inside things. There was a cat tree that I still have that she used to go in there. That cat tree there, that's in her. That I still got that one here in the cat room, and she used to go in that all the time, taking a nap. You can see the background. The other cat. I think that's one of the few pictures with all three of them in there. They Bite and Nibble around the stairs, and my other cat, his name was Cat, was on the floor checking him out, saying, what the heck is this? What did you bring in here? Yeah, there's Cat again, and Bite. Little Nibble playing around now. She's got the access to the guest bedroom now, so she's exploring that a little bit. That's the picture that I have on the cover or the thumbnail for this live stream today. That's her when she's about 3 months old, exploring the sink. She loved to drink water out of the tap like that. And her evil glowing eyes. When she finally got to explore outside of the bedroom a little bit. So it did finally get to the point where she was able to go out and explore a little bit. Sweet little kitty. I guess that's the end of him. Yeah, they were both feral. I don't know what the story was. Either that or their experience with humans, whatever limited was not good. So thanks, Jordan. I appreciate that. I mean, I knew it was coming. She's been getting old for a while. Cat came from the pound. Prior to that, I had adopted a cat that belonged to Matt, my friend there who does Island Horizon videos. He was moving to Hawaii for the first time, and they had a cat that they couldn't take with them because I guess the rules about cats coming in from off the island is they have to go into like quarantine for like 6 months. And Matt said they weren't going to take their cat Johnny Cat with them, and so I ended up adopting Johnny Cat. And when Johnny Cat died, that was when I went and got Cat. Jordan remembers Cat. I don't know, it's possible, but I never saw a mama cat. Uh, Cat got diabetes and died at about 13 or 14. He didn't last very long. I got him when he was about 12 weeks old. He was in the pound. He was a good buddy. And Nibble almost made it to 18. Bite will be 18 at the end of next month. Yes, that was the one that was shocked Jordan. I remember that. That was funny. Yeah, I'm glad Nibble was with me as long as she was, and I'm glad Bite is still healthy and active. I'm glad about that. I always wondered which one of them would go first, and thought it would probably be easiest if Nibble went first because at least Bite would have me. Nibble didn't really have anybody but Bite. And I don't know if Nibble would have become more personable if it was just me and her. I think she kind of put up with me a little bit, but she was Bite's cat. I had one cat and he had one cat. Bite's a lot more clingy than he's been. I think he's just coming to terms with it. Uh, Nibble went yesterday morning, sometime between when I got up and when I went to work, and I left her in their room all day. So Bite kind of had time to kind of try and grasp what was happening. And then when I got home last night, I moved her out into the garage, and then we're going to deal with that end of things probably today. But after Nibble, went into disappeared from Bite's perspective, he's been I think he's lonely. I think he's looking for. He doesn't fully understand what happened. But Nibble mellowed a lot when towards the last few weeks of her life. I heard her purr for the first time ever in the last couple of weeks. I'd go over there and I'd pet her, and she'd just start purring. She never did that. I'd never heard it of her purring before. She's going to go in the back of the back corner, kind of back by Flash's cave. I got an area figured out. Well, I've always made it a point when I had a pet that had a companion and one of them died to always make sure the other one got to see the body, just to kind of do their part to try and understand what's happening. I've had dogs die where I had to put one of them down, and I'd bring the body home so the other one could see it. Yeah, I got an idea what I'm going to do there. You're going to have to stay tuned for that, but I think it's going to be cool. There will be some sort of a marker there. Like I said, I'm gonna bury Nibble today, and there will be a video on that because I got to prepare the area. I got to build a box for her, and like I said, I got an idea of what I want to do uh, in terms of the markers. So I think it's gonna be cool. Where Bites around? He's been out here a few times. Like I said, he's a little bit more, been a little needy the last day or so, following me around a lot more. Oh, you lost the cat too? Oh man, yeah. 14 years too. That's a little younger than Nibble was. Because Nibble was 17 too. If she made it to the end of next month, she would have been 18. They estimate her birthday was March 20th, 2007. I've always had big dogs, and big dogs don't make it that long, unfortunately. You want a dog that's going to stay with you for forever. You need like a Chihuahua or something. I've lost rabbits too. Oh, they probably wouldn't have lasted long. The funny thing is I had sworn I'd seen something moving around in the planter the day before, because the day before we'd been out celebrating my mom's birthday, and we went out to a restaurant, and we were coming back, and as we were coming into my yard, I could have sworn something was moving in the yard over in the planter opposite the front door, and I didn't really think that much of it. And then the next day I was in the yard and I saw him again. And this point, that was when I went and captured him. What did I call the rabbit? I don't remember. It was one of those white rabbits with pink eyes. He was a big boy. I don't remember what I named him now. There was an interesting story. I was working at a vet at the time, and somebody brought this rabbit in. They didn't want it anymore. It was perfectly healthy, perfectly active. It was a great rabbit. It wasn't mean or anything. It was very friendly with people. They didn't want it anymore. They wanted to be put to sleep, and they didn't even want to be there. They just turned it in and said, "Put this to sleep for us," and they walked out. And I ended up adopting it and taking it home. He lived in my backyard. Smart thing. He knew how to use a litter box. I had a little section in the backyard that we just kind of barricaded off for him, that he can wander around and not dig up my mom's yard. My sister had like a dwarf rabbit once too. That one lived in a cage though. This rabbit I had was bigger than a cat, so it could basically fend for itself. I would love to have rabbits living in the yard right now, but I'd be concerned that some of the local vultures and eagles and stuff like that I've seen around here. That Mississippi kite that I saw a few months ago. Yeah, I worked at a vet, three different vets, so right out of high school. I hadn't discovered my work ethic though, so it didn't take long for each of them to fire me for being lazy. At the time, I kind of thought maybe I wanted to be a vet, but working there for a while, got me out of it. I got bit a couple times, but usually which animals you have to worry about, and if you know what you're doing, you can really easily immobilize a dog or a cat, and they taught you all that stuff. Bugs, that would be a good name for a rabbit. Yeah, that was something I had to learn. I really didn't learn it until I worked at Disney. Because prior to that, every job I'd had, you know, once I, became, experienced enough with it to be good at it, I excelled at. And I did really well in the CD world. Every company I went, I started out one place and ended up here and ended up higher and higher. I kept working my way up. And then all of a sudden I hit Disney and I could not make it get any traction with that place. Well, I was kennel help, so the downside was I was the one that was always cleaning poop out of the cages and giving dogs and cats baths. Or a rabbit named Bugsy Siegel, huh? That's funny. What are my plans for 2025? Make it to 2026. Now, I mean, it's just going to be more of the same. I get the job. That's the focus. I definitely want to get this planner ready to go in the back. That's a big thing right now. Thank you, Breck. I appreciate that. Yeah, it's been a tough day. Well, when I started working at the vet, that was the first thing my dad said, don't bring any animals home. And I only did it once. I did it with a rabbit. Goodbye, Gene. See you next time. Thanks for stopping in. If I was really thinking about it now, I'd name a white rabbit Alice. That sounds like a perfect name for a white rabbit. Okay, I'm glad a few people caught that reference. Bigfoot capital of America. That'd be funny. That'd be a great video, especially if I caught something. Can you imagine if I got undeniable proof that Bigfoot's real? Well, as I mentioned earlier, we're coming up on another maintenance interval at work. It's going to start, I think, about the 12th of March, I think is the date. And it's going to like the 25th. So the place is going to be closed for 2 weeks. Now, there'll be a day or two I have to go in for, just stuff, but I may, go and do some road trip videos on those. Remember last time I went to Johnson Space Center and went and did the Dazed and Confused vlogs, filming locations. I also have a haunted bridge I want to visit, and I may go at night because I think that'll make it more scary. Yeah, Alamo definitely. Yellowstone, I'll definitely do that at some point. As I get a little older, if I keep doing this, when I get to the point maybe where I retire, I could see myself just doing a lot more road trip videos. Like, kind of more like what Jordan does, but more like national parks and stuff like that than famous people or famous, locations or stuff like that. Yeah, I got a folder on my laptop of ideas I want to do for future vlogs. When I get some time, and like I said, I've been reading this story about this haunted bridge, and I don't know. I think it'd be really cool to go out and go after dark. So see if we can conjure the ghost out. No, actually, it's a goat man, and the bridge is called the Goatman's Bridge. Yeah, goat man. Apparently, the story is there was a guy who lived in the area like 100 years ago, maybe a little bit more, and he was a goat herder, and he was actually pretty successful at it. But he drew the resentment of the local residents because he was black, and this bridge um, that existed, it used to. He had a sign on the bridge that said "This way to the Goat Man," because he lived on the other side of the bridge, and apparently that infuriated some of the locals, and they grabbed him on the bridge, put a noose around him, and pushed him off the edge of the bridge. And when they looked over the edge to see, the body hanging there, the body was gone, and they freaked out, and they went to the goat man's house and burned the house down with his wife and children inside. And apparently, his ghost still goes around haunting people. And there have been all sorts of stories about people hearing weird things, seeing eyes staring at them, and people actually being assaulted by this thing. So I don't know. I definitely want to check that out. That sounds like that would be a funny one. Good haunted good haunted house video. Too bad it isn't Halloween, right? Might have to actually sit on that one for 6 or 8 months and make sure it goes out on Halloween. I might bring my my little micro digital recorder and get some recordings out there, see what we get. I don't remember exactly when it happened. It happened like 100 years ago, I think. Let me see. I can look at my notes here. Hang on. Let's see. Vlog ideas. There it is. – 1938. So I guess it isn't that long ago, but still. One night in 1938, a group of angry men dragged Oscar to the bridge, tied a rope around his neck, and threw him off from the bridge. When they looked down to make sure he was dead, his body was gone. Yeah, that's a good one, right? There was one story where some kids went over to the bridge, knocked on the bridge 3 times, and it called for the goat man, and he appeared in front of them. They ran away and never came back. You can see why I'm intrigued by that one, right? Could be an urban legend, but still, it's kind of a fun story. Well, like I said, I got a really high-end little micro recorder that I could set up and just see if it captures anything. But you know, I think I've used it a couple of times for like recording electrical storms like that. It does way better than the cameras do. There's another place I've been thinking about visiting too. That's another interesting urban legend. There's a cemetery, kind of a little west, I think, of Fort Worth, where there's allegedly an alien buried there. There was like an alien craft or something like that, and it either died or was killed, and they allegedly buried this thing in their cemetery. That'd be a good one to visit too, huh? You could start a whole section of doing like videos on urban legends. Be like the Blair Witch Project. Only by looking at it from the sky. It's not much of a secret anymore when it's on Google Maps, or at least it was. I don't know. The story seemed a little preposterous. I know the movie was billed as as these kids were out doing a documentary on the Blair Witch, and they disappeared, and then 6 months later, their camera was found, and this is the footage that was on it. It sounds a little too much like something was set up, but that's how it was billed, is that it was actually real. I thought it was a good movie, but I also think it's a movie that didn't really stand up to time, because I mean I can't think of the last time I said, "Gee, I'd really like to watch the Blair Witch Project again." I have a copy of it, but I think it's in my inactive file. And sometimes it just has to do with like mysteries like that, where eventually you just get to the point where you've seen it enough times, like, okay, well, I know what's going to happen. I thought it was a good movie, but like I said, didn't watch it that much. I did like the X Files. That was a good movie, and I have watched the X Files movie more than once. But it was a massive movie at the time. Everybody was talking about it. Everybody had seen it and was amazed by it, and then just kind of disappeared. I don't know. I'm not even sure if any of the actors who ever did anything again. I don't remember seeing any of them in anything. Might be interesting to go back and see if they did. Sometimes you get actors like that. They do their first thing and a quirky thing like this, and then their career takes off as a result of it. The Breckwitz Project, huh? Yeah, maybe. Hey, Eric, how you doing? Yeah, it doesn't surprise me that the producers made all the money on that. I'm still alive. Yeah, we got another 20, 25 minutes or so to go. Do I have to pay you royalties if I use that, Darth? Ah, quite the life you got there, Eric. You still shooting like sports games? What is it now? Is it football yet? Are you still doing football? Yeah, that's right. Another vlogger started joins the chat. That's true. Hey, you're the second vlogger to join us today. You couldn't pay me to eat McDonald's. The only thing that I like from McDonald's is their fries. Soccer and basketball. Okay, that's fun. That's cool. That's cool. Are they paying you to do that? Because that's cool if you can make a little money doing it. Or is it just a school project and they give you the camera and set you loose? Yeah, I do too. Remember loving McDonald's, and maybe the food was better then. But yeah, I mean, I love their Big Mac. It's just I can't deal with it anymore. I still think their fries are superior to other places. Yeah, I think Jordan and I went to McDonald's before I moved here one time, and that was, I think, the last time I've been to a McDonald's. I was always a big fan of Carl's Jr. too in California, but last time I had Carl's Jr. wasn't as good. And it was like $20 for one meal, and then all I got was like a hamburger, fries, and a Coke. Hi Scott, how you doing? Yeah, I never used to do the salad bar thing at Carl's Jr., but I was into a few of their things. Their Superstar Burger was great. Their Western Bacon Cheeseburger, that's been a long time favorite. But yeah, that was what I had when I went to California a year ago for my mom's funeral one night. And one of the things that was so great about it was the barbecue sauce, and there was hardly any barbecue sauce on it. Fried zucchini is good at Carl's Jr. too. You're right. I like In-N-Out burgers. They're good. Their fries suck though. If you don't eat their fries right there in the store, the second they're cold, it tastes like starch. If In-N-Out could have McDonald's fries, they'd be unstoppable. I know a lot of people say they don't really like In-N-Out, but I do. In-N-Out's great, and we got a few of them here in Waco, so that's good. Your basketball team's going to move into the playoffs. Are you going to shoot that? Yeah, I don't remember things when they were quite that cheap, but I remember when I could do that same meal for under $5. Yep, I'm that old. Go into any fast food place with a $5 bill, walk out with a hamburger, fries, and a large Coke. Now you aren't doing that for less than 20. 55-cent Whopper cheese. Wow. Yeah, I like Burger King too. I like their Whoppers. I think that was McDonald's at one point. I think they were at one point they were selling hamburgers for like 10 cents. Yeah, that doesn't surprise me that the Whoppers have shrunk. Guess who's back? It's the only cat. Yeah, I do like kind of the charbroil flavor too from like uh, Burger King. They always charbroiled their stuff. 3 rounds of playoffs, that's still pretty good. Feel real fun to be able to film that, right, Bite? You jealous? No, not jealous, just clingy. Let's get all the old brushings off you here. I've often wondered about Bite and Nibble's parents, what they must look like. Because in reality, if you think about it, they're almost identical. The only difference is the colorings. You know, they both were primarily a white cat with an opposing kind of blotchy markings on their face, on their body. You know, and the only difference is in Nibbles it was orange and Bite's black. So yeah, I've often wondered what their parents look like. There were never a whole lot of local cats running around, so you know, I I don't have a clue what their parents look like. That's funny. I still like Wendy's. Station wagons and McDonald's. Yep, that's true. Good times. I gotta say, I haven't had Wendy's fries for a long time. Usually, when I get something now, I just get the sandwich. I don't get the fries. I don't get the drink. I'll do my own drink. Yeah, I agree with you, VNA. They got to do something with their fries. Their fries are not good. I've heard people say that about chili. I don't think I've ever tried their chili. No, you can never go wrong with pizza. Yeah, we got the same thing here, Gene, except it's for Whataburger. There's not a day goes by that I see some idiot do something crazy in a car to get into a Whataburger. I don't get Whataburger. I've had it a couple times. It's just it's nothing special. The first time I did it was the first summer I moved here because I think it was probably in the first couple of weeks I didn't even have my refrigerator yet, and so I was eating eating out a lot. And I went to Whataburger once because there was one kind of close to my apartment. I'd heard about them. I'd never had one, and was not impressed. I think there was another time that Jordan was here and we went to Whataburger. It was a little better, but it was nothing special. And then the only other time I've been there is one time for Christmas one year somebody gave me a Whataburger gift card, and so I went there a couple of times. It's like, yeah, okay, and I haven't been back since. Haven't heard of that one, Eric. Of course, I don't really watch Netflix that much. Yeah, maybe a fun vlog. I mean, my hamburgers are actually fairly simple. It's it's usually just a big thick piece of patty. I have some seasoning I put on it that kind of adds spices to the meat, makes it really good. And then right at the end, I'll usually scoop a couple spoonfuls of chopped jalapenos on top of it, cover it with the cheese, let the cheese melt over the jalapenos, and it almost becomes like a nacho hamburger. It's really good. I did do that one on chicken stuff with what Popeyes and what was the other one? The other chicken place I went. Wasn't really into either of them. Popeyes and Churches, that's what it was. I did do the one where I went to what was it, the Taco Casa. And that was okay. And actually, the person who kind of inspired me to go, she found out about me mentioning her and said, "Yeah, you really should have tried something else." I don't know if I'd go to a restaurant called Escaping the Mouse Burger. I don't know. Just that doesn't seem like that doesn't sound like it'd be the kind of thing that'd make me say, "Wow, that makes my mouth water." Yeah, you don't put mice with food. You don't put cockroaches with food. They don't seem to go very well. I've never seen a Trader Joe's in Waco. I don't know. I don't know whether if they're just not in Texas. I don't know. Let's look. Let's see where the nearest one is. Yeah, there's one in Austin. Surprise, surprise. There aren't any in Waco. Looks like the closest one I can find is they're up near Dallas. But yeah, there doesn't appear to be a Trader Joe's within 100 miles of here. So yeah, none of that. No, I don't think I have the patience to run a restaurant or do anything like that. Yeah, but Houston, I'm looking for the closest one. Houston's like 3, 4 hours away. The only thing that we really have here in Waco that could be considered anything like a chain is HEB, and they're everywhere. I do wish sometimes that there were several different chains. A little bit of variety, kind of keep everybody honest. A lot of times, in California we had Ralph's, we had Kroger, we had Safeway, we had Vaughn's. Here it's just there's a couple kind of little grocery stores, but a lot of it is it's mostly it's a HEB. And there's a bunch of HEBs in town. Thank you, Suzanne. Yeah, it was a hard day. I mean, I knew it was coming, but it still hurt when it happened. Yeah, I remember Vaughn's. Unless you want to go to like Walmart or something for groceries. A lot of the WalMarts now have grocery stores in them. And the truth is, there are things in the grocery store aisle at Walmart that I can't find anywhere else. No, no interest in the Super Bowl at all. Thanks for stopping in, Darth. It's always great when you're here. See you next time. Yeah, we're coming to the end pretty close here anyway. Yeah, I don't even know. I haven't watched the Super Bowl in probably 20 years. I used to go to Super Bowl parties with a group of friends of mine. You know, I watched the game a little bit, but it was never really that into it. Bunch of entitled millionaires complaining about how oppressed they are. Well, there you go. That was the 2 hour mark. Can watch the Puppy Bowl. Yeah, those are kind of cute. That is true, EC. I used to do that all the time. On Super Bowl Sunday, I'd like go to the movies, have the whole movie theater myself. Nobody's there. That's the best day to go to the movies. I remember it being a great day to be at Disneyland too, because there'd be nobody there either. Thank you, Darth. Yeah, well, I'm going to get over it. I know I'll feel better when I get her buried. It'll make it feel better right now, than right now. Because right now she's in the garage sitting on the freezer. And so, that feels incomplete. Yeah, zoo, that'd be a good thing to do. Yeah, but the president being there is not worth me watching it. Doesn't make me more interested in seeing it. Yeah, I've got kind of an idea what I'm going to do. Stay tuned for the video because I got to build a box for her. I got to dig the hole. There's an area that I have in mind um, for her grave. It's going to become the pet graveyard, and I got to clean it up a little bit, get it ready. Something like that, Gene. Yeah, yeah. She's a sweet little kitty. You're welcome, Gene. Yeah, I enjoy. She was a sweet little kitty, and like I said, I'll never forget her. Wasn't the most affectionate kitty, but she was sweet. So anyway, I think we're done with this one. I'm going to pull the plug on this. We'll try this again next week. Thanks everyone for watching. Good night, everyone.